Welcome sailing fans to race 2 of the finals of the 2014 Miami World Cup of Sailing. We are at about 1:30 left to go to race 2 of this theater style final. Here's the scores for everyone. At home, we've got Stevie Morrison has moved into the lead with his third place finish.
He was tied going into the last race, so he's got a little bit of a margin here, which should give him a bit of comfort there, Ben.
In second place, tied, are France Julien Dortoli and Denmark 28, Jonas. And then just 1 point behind them is Brad Funk of the USA. And one point further back is John Pink, so it's really close. That's the 1 minute flag. Lining up for the left end start is James Peters. Above him is the Lubeck brothers, then the Japanese, then our previous race winners.
There's no port tack option here, Ben. Everyone's on starboard.
Yeah, it does. We've seen a little bit of a right shift, so that's the longer tack right now. I suspect that's why. Right at the boat end is Lauri Lehtinen from Finland.
We're down to about 30 seconds here.
Not that intense of a start line. Oh, we got 2 people drifting over for a pin end start. That's Pinky and Stevie. So a couple of the guys and the Lubeck brothers. So it's actually going to be pretty competitive on that pin end. Time?
We've got about 10 seconds here, Ben.
And that's it.
It's an individual recall.
Going back are the Finnish and Matthew Frey and Jan Rochereau. We're good here, Trev.
We have a bit of a drag race out to the left side here between the Japanese and which British boat is that?
That's James Peters and Ed Fitzgerald coming at us, GBR 999. To the far side seems where the biggest action is. That's Stevie Morrison and John Pink both hitting the starboard lane boundary, and Stevie has crossed John Pink fairly easily. Already on starboard is Jonas. So all 3 of those guys will be in good position coming across. Oh no, that's not Jonas. That's the Lubeck brothers. Jonas is just to the windward hip of Brad Funk, who's sailing with Trevor Bird, and they're pointing pretty high. Actually, they've pinched off.
Yeah, but Jonas. The right-hand side of the course looks really, really good, Ben.
It does.
I'm not sure about these guys on the left. I think they're looking over and kicking themselves a bit.
Yeah, it looks lighter. They're not even full trapping here as we see James Peters coming at the lane boundary. Going for his tack. We'll see if Brad holds him or tacks underneath.
He'll have to give way here to the Americans. You can see there he's asking if he can get through.
No protest?
No, I think they're friends. They're just going to be casual with each other. Here's Funky pushing that boundary. I like to see that rudder hit the lane rope if possible.
Real solid maneuver there, but they're not in the lead, although we've got the 3 back markers.
If they can get a little bit of a puff and a bit of a lift, they'll be okay.
So James Peters just ducked below Countryman Pinky. We've actually got a Britain 1, 2, 3 right now, with Stevie really cementing himself on the leaderboard if he can continue having a good race here. That'll do a lot for him as John Pink just presses hard. He's hoping that Stevie doesn't tack on him right now. He's going to come across.
Got Lauri Lehtinen with a good move here, an early tack just to avoid the bad air.
Stevie's just planted on top of John Pink, and that's a really tough spot to get out of.
That is harsh.
You can see Pinky's sailing a little bit low, just trying to get the speed up to get out from in front. But that's going to cost Pink.
I wonder if we'll see him tack back.
It's costing him that whole group. If you look now, Stevie's going to probably get across the Lubeck brothers, and Pink's going to have to go behind him.
That's going to be close, Ben.
No, you're right. He's not going to make it.
I think it's a duck or a tack. Stevie elects to come back left.
Lubeck brothers take the lead in this race, and actually James Peters on the far side looks really good.
He has great positioning, Ben.
And we've got Jonas pinning out all 3 of these boats right now, so they're just driving.
The boundary will come into effect.
Great boat speed there from Stevie. He's managed to get bow out, and he's going to force these guys to tack as you see the Lubeck brothers dropping.
He can't call for him to tack yet, though.
Not yet. And they all tack in sequence.
It's pointed. It's great to see these guys. They know the rules. They follow the rules. Very well executed by all 3 boats.
You can see the Lubeck brothers. Just those couple meters are really going to cost them as they come across. Although they're in good pressure here now. It looks like the left's done okay.
Stevie's in a bit of a risky position there. I'm not sure if he'll be able to squeak out that poor ley line.
He's going to be tacking in the 2 boat length circle, that's for sure. Meanwhile, Jonas will be tacking outside the 2 boat length circle.
That's a 3-length zone, Ben.
Oh.
Call it the zone these days.
All right, and John Pink has taken Jonas. So John Pink's come in from the right side. We saw him struggle when Stevie tacked on him, but then he ducked that group and he's retaken the lead.
I guess that right side really did pay off, didn't it?
Sure has in the second half of this beat. And Stevie's last
Big
man
duck.
back. Even
Big
Lowry's
duck.
got across him.
That was a big duck just because he was on port.
Jibe set from James Peters. Oh, no, yeah.
Lovely pink spinnaker.
And Burd and Funk have really done well here. We saw them earlier in the race.
See, look at the athleticism on Trevor Burd. I don't think he's clipped in yet. Oh, he's finally clipped in. There we go.
We'll see how long John Pink holds this. John Pink's moved all the way up to only be 8 points back of the lead and 2 points back of silver medal.
Let's see if we get a simo jibe from the Americans. The Americans jibe as well. But the Americans jibed in some waves. That's going to definitely cost them.
What do you guys think of James Peters on the far side there?
No.
And Jonas jibed early as well.
I think the Danish, I think Jonas is looking very good there. John Pink's into a bit of a light spot, Ben.
Yeah, Pink's just in a bit of trouble with the guys coming over top. Funky Bird's just got a puff ahead of Pink, but Pink got it as well now. And they're both coming up on a... No, Jonas is still on port ahead of them. James Peters has to take the transoms of all that group, so he's lost out in his jibe set. This is a really tight battle.
Yeah, and it appears
to
be a bit patchy, so the teams will have to pick their way through and connect the dots on this race course.
Jonas wasn't as far forward as we thought, but he's been jibed directly on top of by Lowry Lettinen. So Jonas and Peter Lang getting stomped by the finish. And James Peters has gone back to this left corner. It's gotten a little bit light and patchy. But the James Peters looks to me like he's the only guy on full power. And Stevie's also coming around the outside.
Let's see how Funk and Burd do here with that. That's a very funny jibe.
Trevor, reverse.
We're okay, Ben. Not to worry.
Okay. One more jibe for Peters. Oh no, Funk's taking the lead here. He's got the ley line perfect on that downwind.
And Brad's got some fans here as well, Ben. Just to our left, we've got Kristen Lane and...
Little wave, Kristen.
So you've got the rounding, opposite ends. It looks like the Brits did round first. Funk having a bit of a slow rounding, which is mildly disappointing, and they're going to split tacks.
Actually, Funk's stopped right there. Trevor's in the boat trying to fix something.
Must be a knot in the kite halyard or something.
Quite light now down at the bottom end here. As John Pink comes towards us, Brad Funk goes away from us. And no, this isn't John Pink. This is James Peters.
That's
John Pink's
Peters,
gone
that's
around
right.
in third the other side. We got the finish behind them.
All right, the Peters is hooked into some pressure now. You can see them double trapping. Crew applying some vang, some kicker. However, I actually like the way Brad Funk's looking now. He's got some pressure as well. He's hipped up now on the rest of the fleet. Most of the boats on starboard tack now.
It's been pretty patchy
Peters
for
tacks.
such a small area.
This will be a coin toss here, Ben, between Peters and Burd and Funk. Of course, Burd and Funk having the starboard tack advantage.
They're a long way apart. Looks like Peters is hooked into some pressure here, trapping pretty hard with Ed.
Yeah,
Ed Fitzgerald, his tall crew.
Yeah, if they hike hard
they've got the lead there.
They'll be able to
quite
press
easily.
through. Yep, absolutely. Let's see if they defend the left-hand side or if they apply any tactical maneuvers here to the Americans.
This was the pair that had that tight cross where there was a little duck by the Americans, and they didn't protest. And now James Peters has tacked right on them. So no. The competition's pretty fierce.
But Trevor and Brad do have clean air there.
Yeah,
so,
they're through to leeward. They're fine. They'll actually be in a tricky spot at the next tack because they can get planted again.
Yeah, they'll have to plan their tack well just to avoid getting tacked on.
A little further back in the field is Stevie Morrison going for his tack here. He's 5th place overall right now, and we'll see. Jonas Ward tacks right on top of him. This is the battle for the lead overall in the regatta.
We're going to have a rule situation coming up in about... Oh, no, never mind. Peters tacked. I think Brad Funk was saying a few kind words to him, and I think they both elected to keep a clean race. not jeopardize a 1-2 position.
Yeah, we've got Lowry and good pressure on the far side there.
Lowry might sneak in around through the back door here, Ben.
Quite a bit lighter now than how we started the day. Maybe down to 6 or 8 knots. And this fleet's quite spread out because during this race, 3 of them went back at that start line. I'm just trying to look over my shoulder here this is our second place, or tied for first place team, Julien Dortoli and Noé Delpech.
They're tied for second in the moment.
They're tied for second now. They were first to start the day, and they're having another bad race. So being tightly guarded by Stevie Morrison, also having a poor race, but making sure to stay ahead of some of his competitors. And then on the far side,
there'll be a starboard port situation here.
We'll just check in with the leaders. So Fitzgerald and Peters have made it to the starboard ley line. Funk's going to just narrowly duck them and do his tack. So nothing changed there, and then Lowry will be hot in their tails for this final downwind of the race. I've got my statisticians in the background trying to crunch some numbers about what's going to happen here if the things settle the way they do. Who are we looking to take the lead overall?
Where Stevie is, because he's in the lead at the moment, but he'll be giving up a bunch of points, and this is a non-discardable race, Ben.
Jonas rounding in 4th. He's challenging for the lead, and then Pinky's in 5th. Stevie's now in 6th overall, followed by a pack, so it's hard to tell.
I think he'll be able to protect the lead, but he'll lose a bit of his lead, that's for sure.
James Peters, Ed Fitzgerald, also veterans of the theater. They got a bronze medal in Garda, and they've also got a distinctive pink spinnaker because their Facebook fans decided they should. So follow Peters Fitzgerald, and you can help them choose their spinnaker colors, which is always a nice feature. Tight battle here as Funk jives right on Lowry's line, so Lowry's got nowhere to pass, no passing lanes. Jonas and Peter Lang hot in their tail. They've caught up nicely in this race, followed by John Pink, who's having a nice consistent race here. No one really around here, not that many opportunities for him. We'll see if he's able to pull something off. Stevie Morrison on the jibe set with the French Mathieu Frey and Yoann Rochereau.
They've got a battle going.
Looks like the Japanese have been penalized for something at the final windward mark, so that'll save Julien and Noé a point as they come in fighting for the tail end spots. Jonas has come back, staying aggressive in this race as he comes to the close side.
I think the major story of this race is Brad Funk and Trevor Burd. I know that they're going to be fighting hard for a hometown podium position here at World Cup Miami.
Looks to me like they'll be pretty secure in that second place as the teams narrow in on that finish line. And that's the win right there coming up. Peters and Fitzgerald through the line, followed by Funk, Burd, followed by
999, followed by 150, followed by 49.
The Finns, followed by Jonas. We'll get an interview with James Peters and put it up on Facebook right away.
Let's find out what these young cats know about the race course. These guys are really good at theater racing.
Pinky through in 5th. Stevie's going to be here in 6th. And then still a tight battle here through to the end. James, we'll grab you for an interview.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Julien through, then the Lubeck brothers. And our race winners from the first race, Frey and Rochereau, come in 9th, followed by the Japanese. One more race to go to decide this championship. Any advance warning on the points?
Looks like Burd and Funk are solidly in 2nd. Stevie and Ben are going to hold on to the lead. Sorry, not Stevie and Ben, but Stevie. And 3rd place podium position
Laura, you ready?
is still up in the air.
No, just go talk to them first. Ready?
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Stop.
Relax, Ben. Are you close enough?
Here we are with race winner, James Peters. Ed, nicely done. Tell us, James, how are you able to do in that race?
We got a good start, and it was more about the pressure. So even though we've got the lanes up the side, we're not necessarily tacking on the boundary. We're still kind of looking at where the wind is and tacking for that. I think that was the key thing in that race.
And how physical is out there? I noticed you're a bit out of breath. Yeah. Is that from climbing on the boat, or is that from the racing?
No, that's from the racing. Yeah, it is physical, yeah. I mean, they're short races, and you do quite a lot of tacks and jibes in that time. And yeah, I could be in better physical shape as well, so...
Sparky, you heard it here first. What do you reckon for the final race of the day here?
I think it's going to be the same again. It's almost becoming more and more patchy as it gets hotter through the day. And so I think for us again, we'll be making sure I'm able to keep my head out of the boat, making sure we're looking at the gusts even though we're on the theatre. So yeah, it's
great.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, James. Good luck in the rest of the race. Here's the scoreboard for everyone at home. Come on, guys, show it to me. Marcus, turn back. So you guys can freeze frame on there, and there's the scores. 60 points for Stevie, 63 for Brad Funk, 64 for Jonas, and 67 for John Pink. So lots of people can still win this. Even the French, 67 points.